Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. My name is Denise Hutchins and I'm broadcasting to you from Studio Mikarts. Our charity of the month is the Vegan Society. I'll be making a donation at the end of the month to help the animals. All I'm going to do is take my unique viewers count and multiply that by 10 cents US dollars per person. So please watch my streams and bring your friends. Let's get the unique viewer count up to 30 for the month. That would be a new record. Oh, Exie, hello! And if you'd like to contribute directly, there's a fundraiser going at 10 pounds, 10 British pounds, sort of viewer match kind of thing here on Twitch. So that's there on my channel as well. Today is Thursday, which means it's time for illustration. I'm going to be making more progress on this piece, probably tackling. I've been putting it off until the end. It's the least interesting part. I'm going to tackle the branches and the leaves and the nest. So that's what I'm going to work on today. Probably. I'll look it over first. Double check what I did yesterday. Now it's good and dry, and I also have fresh eyes to look at it. Oh, let me talk to Exie for a second. It's so hard to feel like I've greeted you properly and then also finish my little intro things. I don't want to neglect you, Exie. Thank you for joining me right away. Holy crap. You're asking how I am. I'm wonderful. Thank you. Yes, I hope you're well also. Anything fun happened since yesterday? Love that little funny wiggle cat. Getting a drink of tea out of my giant 24-ounce Disney Princess. I can't show you. Wait, I can show you on the side. Oh, there's my Disney Princess mug. Full of delicious tea. Okay, I actually need to put this a different way because the handle is kind of in the way. There. I'll set it over here instead. Oh, wonderful. Oh, something happened. Well, I hope it's... Since you put hee, I hope that it's something good. And I'm glad to hear you're doing all right. Do you feel like sharing? You don't have to share if you don't want to. But that's interesting. Something happened between today and yesterday. Okay, let's see. First glance, I do feel quite satisfied with the work we did yesterday on... We really focused on the baby griffins. I like the texture I was able to get into the feathers, the shading, the details on their beaks. What about everything else? The adults look all right. Cupcakes, we did the cupcakes, they look all right. It's the only thing I've been thinking about recently is I add purple at the very end on my chibis, but I don't really do that for my watercolor. I wonder if I do that this time, it'll give it a nice, I'm sure it will. I just never think of it for watercolor, but that's something to do at the very end. Like I'm imagining like right here, adding a little purple. I think it would give it way more depth in it. I mean, it looks pretty good, but it's still also in a way still kind of flat because it's all brown. But that's something I'll need to do at the end. Oh, wow! Congratulations, getting an affiliate! Even though you're not applied for it. Yeah, congratulations! I was so surprised when I got it because I was like, what? I wasn't even trying because it seemed too hard. I was like, I just want to stream and share my art and like meet people. And then I got an affiliate. Oh, I'm so happy. Have you been streaming your, streaming creative stuff, streaming games? So the focus on things. Is it all the one thing? Like, I think last time you said that you were streaming to work on your game, creating your game. Oh, and you're welcome. It's such a nice surprise when that happens, especially if you're not really aiming for it, and then it's like, hey, we see you, or whatever. That's kind of how it felt to me, like being recognized for being a positive part of the Twitch community, I guess. All right, I'm gonna have to do it. I'm still not used to my wireless mouse being nice and within reach. I keep trying to reach over here like I have done for years and years. Oh yeah, the 3D work. How's that going? Because the first time you told me about it and then you shared on the Discord, and you already had so many items, so I'm wondering, like, are you amassing a huge library of items first, or are you sort of perfecting those items that you had before? Like adding texture and stuff. I don't know very much about 3D modeling. All I know about 3D modeling is enough to get a human-shaped figure in a pose that I want as a reference. That's all I've used it for, so that's all I know. Okay, so I wanted to open my birthday Gryphon references, open all in tabs. Oh, it's so nice to be able to do this without reaching over here. It doesn't even show, it doesn't show here how great it is. It's just something that I experience. It's really so great. All right, I'm scrolling, looking for, oh wait, no. I am first moving this to a new window so I can still see my Twitch chat. Okay, move this to new window. Boop. And this one. I like that in Firefox, which I'm like a huge Firefox fan. I've used Firefox for decades and I'm just like a dedicated user. I like that you can right click on, no. You have a folder of bookmarks, say, and then there's a little option at the bottom that says open all in tabs. What I need, and it doesn't have, so I love that you can open all in tabs. But what I need is open all in tabs in new window. So I can open these reference images. All right, here we go. Here's the nest pictures. Well, that's not a very, oh, here's a good one. Yeah, they use a lot of dead, or well, I guess the branches die as they become part of the nest. So it's just really washed out and brown, like light tannish brown. I'm looking at Exy's messages now. Oh, yeah, makes sense. So basically, you're doing as much as you can now while you have the time because you don't know. Maybe in the future you won't have as much time, but you'll have made enough progress that it won't be a problem. Oh, you doubled the models. Yeah, I would love to see them. I'd love to see what everybody else is working on too. Here's another image of a pied cormorant in a nest. This is a slightly different, I guess this is just a pied cormorant, not a little pied cormorant. It's slightly different. It's got a big yellow patch on its face. The beak is all black, but right in front of the eye is a big brilliant, and then at the bottom there's like a burgundy patch, and the eye is blue all around it. Interesting. This is not quite the same bird though. Well, I guess I'll just use this reference, which is also the one I used to really judge how the feathers were looking on the baby's wings, and also these little red patches on their faces, which I wonder if I should actually take it further. Well, we'll wait till the end. Okay. Oh, yeah. Let me see. Oh, I see him. Wait, I wonder if I can... not really set up to, like, show stuff on the screen. I'm just looking at it on my phone. Wait, oh, where's my camera? Ah! There. I couldn't see what I was doing because my reference images was blocking the screen. Hold on, let me finish reorganizing my digital workspace here. I'm looking at these cool objects. Dang. So many different types of chairs and desks. This kind of thing is why it was very hard for me. Oh, look, little, like, knives, all kinds of different knives, salt and pepper shaker. Dang. This is like the kitchen supplies. Oh, this just made me realize I have my overhead light on, and I don't like having that on because I think it casts my shadow onto the picture. There, I turned that off. These are awesome! Is this the aesthetic you're going for, or are you making the, like, is everything going to be this silver color, or is this just the base, and then later there will be different colors? I'm having so much fun looking at your stuff. It's been 15 minutes and I haven't really made any progress on my piece. I also needed to get my reference image up though. So, this is so fun though. This is, what did you call it before? I can't remember. It was like co-working or something. Working together but on different projects. Yeah, that's the vibe I have right now. It's so nice. It's so much nicer than trying to get myself to work by myself. Man, I thought I had put my tea in a nice place. Okay, I'm gonna put my tea over here, actually. So my mouse can go in here. Put my coaster there, and I've had enough tea now that even if it sits in an angle, it won't spill out of the cup. There. Oh, my towel is in the way. But I need it with this hand. I like to dab with this hand because I'm holding the brush with this hand. So this towel goes on this side. Okay, this towel on this side. There, now my palette can be... My cup was there. Now my palette is where I want it. Thank you. Ah, there's so many, like, okay, just don't look at the bottom part. Then it looks done. This is so flat. So flat compared to everything else. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, it's amazing. And these are on top of the ones you made before. Oh, and this one, I'm looking at the... I'm loving getting distracted. I'm looking at the, you had a person in the other one. Oh, there's lamps even. Different kinds of lamps. Oh, interesting. Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing what that will look like because I love pixelated art, pixel art. So interesting because back in the day, that was just like, that was what you had. Like, that was the amount of pixels you had to work with, so it had to be all squarey like that. These days, it's an aesthetic, and I love it because that's what I grew up with. So it's like, for example, my favorite Mario game now is Mario Odyssey. That game was so fun. It's like the only that kind of game that I've finished literally everything. I think the only thing maybe I didn't do was I was so close to getting all the badges or whatever it was in the Luigi side game. And I think I might be just a little bit short of achievements in that side game. And that's the only thing. And even then, I might have actually finished it because I was trying to finish it. But what I'm getting at is that's still not my favorite art style. My favorite art style is, actually probably my favorite art style for a game is a Suikoden. Suikoden 1 and 2. Suikoden 1 is my favorite game ever, so. And I love that Octopath Traveler helped open that back up, helped bring that back in a modern way. So it's Octopath Traveler, it's nothing to do with Suikoden, but the art style is what Suikoden would look like if it was made today. And then it's great because Octopath Traveler allowed the spiritual successor to the Suikoden series, which just came out, Eiyuden Chronicle. And I kickstarted it and everything, and they're using that style from that style that Octopath Traveler sort of established, so it's like it came full circle. And so, yeah, like that original Suikoden style, I think, was mostly because that's what they had to work with, but today, it's a choice, and I love it. Yeah, Exy knows what I'm talking about. Oh, I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see how that turns out. Nope, no pressure or anything, but I'm looking forward to it. Alright, I've been trying to mix a color that will make a nice shadow color. I do see a little bit of warmth. Right now I don't have too much warmth in these branches, but as I'm looking at the reference image over on my screen over here, it does have a little bit like either reflected light from the environment or some residual warmth. These branches have been like sun bleached, it seems like. So they're very, very pale, but I'm trying to get a color that shows that they're not ash gray. It's not a nest of ashes like a, I don't know, it's not a phoenix nest. Which reminds me, okay, allow me to get distracted one more time. I donated to the Protego Foundation fundraiser last year, and the category I donated to was get a, I think it's handmade out of recycled materials, Phoenix plushie. And there was no picture of it because it was made to order and everything. At least that's what I remember. I completely forgot about it. It was last year, and yesterday it arrived. Look at it. Look how cute it is. And it's so soft. It's extremely soft. Let me see if I can show you. Look at that soft texture. Oh, my camera is freaking out, but and I think the cutest part is actually the tail. This little tail is so cute. It's just so floppy. It's like the feathers all match, and it's so adorable. It has the embroidery. Or is that what this is called? Embroidery? I think so. And then the eyes also. Anyway, I'm going to have this sit right next to my phone. It's so cute. Now I don't remember why. Oh, because this is not a phoenix nest. Even though I have a phoenix plushie now. Okay. Stop being distracted. Me. Let's do this. I guess I'm just hesitating because I don't want to overdo it. But I've got to start somewhere. Alright, maybe if I add a little bit of this black, just a tiny bit, then I'll feel a little bit better. Okay, yeah, okay. I think what was troubling me was that I had mixed a color that had nothing to do with what I already put on the page. So now I've got a little bit of the black in there to make it kind of a brownish gray. Thank you. Adding this is sort of like a peach color, peachish tan color, what I'm mixing, plus a little of this blackish blue brown color from the baby Gryphons. Okay, let's do this. No more hesitation. Let's just paint. Let's just paint it. I had too much paint in that brush. Let's just do it. And then it's like, oops. Okay. So I'm actually a little bit unsure about the light logic on the nest here. I do have that reference image though. But everything just looks so washed out. Like everything is very bright. Like every branch seems to be catching the light. So maybe what I'll do is just paint and dab. Get this darker color in there and then dab away so that it's got some highlights. Let's try it. Boop. And some areas can stay darker because they are being shadowed by other things. For instance, right here, we've got all these leaves coming out. And some of these branches are farther behind other ones, so they should just be naturally darker for that reason. And also there's these little teeny tiny parts where the edges of the previous paint for other sections don't quite meet up with the edges for these, for instance, these branches, among other areas like the leaves or whatever. So I'm painting a little bit extra up or to meet that point so that there's no extra bits of white page sticking up through the paint where the two colors meet. So that's just distracting. There's no reason to bring a lot of extra attention to this area. It just needs to support everything else. both visually and in a sort of literal sense because it's supporting these griffins that are sitting on it. Probably have to mix some more paint in a second. I didn't mix very much because I was feeling so hesitant about it. I thought I should just go ahead and start putting stuff down and see what happens. And there's some areas of these branches for the nest that I think I didn't have enough paint. I had to mix the color again and I didn't quite match. So some branches are more gray than others. Which is not necessarily a problem because not every branch will necessarily look like the other ones, but oh! Okay, let me finish this branch right here. I want to see. I want to see those textures, the pixely textures, I assume. Let me dab these. It's a little bit more brown than I wanted. But at least it is looking better because there's more variety. Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, so interesting. Here's this, my podunk way of showing it. Show it on my phone. Ah, this really has video game vibes now. So now that you have... Oh, that's so interesting. Look at these. Well, actually, you're the only one here. You're looking at your own thing. Okay, people watching the recording later, look at these. That's such an interesting way of applying the texture because it still has the generally 3D modeled look. Like you can feel that spirit, or it's sort of like the skeleton. You can see the skeleton underneath, and then you have the texture that's so unique to apply that to those shapes. Oh, it looks awesome on this chair. Oh, and it's on the wood too. Show this one too. I gotta figure out how to just quickly. Amazing work, accent. Yeah. No, I love it on this chair, especially. It just looks like chair texture. Like, it makes it look like a real chair. Oh, let me see what you said here. Want to make the pixel size similar so they won't look too bad together. I see. Yeah, I like it. Like, from far away, I don't know if this comes across on the screen. From far away, it, how can I describe what I'm experiencing? It's like this cool visual treat when you zoom in and you see the pixels, because from farther away it just looks like a texture, and then when you zoom in, especially on the wood here, and you can see like RGB pixels making up the wood. It's kind of like that, I think it's called pointillism. I think it's called pointillism. What am I doing? I can look it up right here. Pointillism. Mm-hmm. Yep, this is it. This is what I always think of. Pointillism. This piece is so famous, always comes first into my mind. Because when you look at it up close, it's just little dots of paint, and then it's an optical illusion when you stand far away. It looks like it's painted in those colors. So is it similar? It's not exactly the same thing. Dithering. Ah, so that's what it's called with pixels. Yeah, pointillism is specifically an art style. Like an art, I don't know if it's an art style or an art movement. It might be considered a movement. From like the 1800s or something. I was just looking at it, but it's gone now. Anyway, it reminds me of that. So you look at it from far away, you don't necessarily notice, but when you zoom in, you're like, oh, look at that. It's actually made up of little squares. I like that kind of thing. I like it when it's just more interesting to me when stuff is made up of other smaller stuff. I can't explain it. Okay, let me continue painting. I do think I might have added a little bit too much brown. A little bit too much brown to this color, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's not meant to be copying my reference image. This is a reference, so as long as what I end up with on the page makes sense within itself, that's good enough. Oh, it's raining. My window cracked just a little bit, and I was hearing little drip drops, and I was like, oh, did my dream come true? And it did. It's raining. There's actual raindrops on my window, too. Oh, nice. I'm sure people still make pointillism pieces today. I wonder if anyone has made pointillism, but it's literally pixels. But it can't be like, oh, well, it's displayed on a TV, so that's pixels and that's pointillism. No, like it's someone individually placed thousands and thousands of pixels to create an image. I bet that exists. That's got to exist. It's such a... That's like low-hanging fruit, so... That would be really cool to see, though. to see in person. I mean, it is so easy to see online, and the impact just isn't as strong. But you see something like that in person. I'm so glad it's raining. Rain is my favorite. I love snow, but rain is my favorite. What I want to make, and I actually don't really see it in the reference image very much, but what I want to make for the sake of my illustration here is some differentiation between the front and the back of the nest. And it's hard to choose how I want to do that because I could make it darker, but I think that atmospheric perspective, even though it would not actually be really having an effect here, but just for the sake of the illustration, atmospheric perspective dictates that things that are farther away are lighter in color. So I'm going to try to keep the back lighter, I think, so that it will look farther away. And then like these sticks right here, kind of the middle ground, as if this is the foreground and this is the background of the nest. So I'll try to keep those a sort of middle color so that they don't, like right now this is supposed to be in front, but it's the same exact color as this one that's underneath this Gryphon. So, but the shadow makes me have to, this has to be darker because it's in shadow. Yes. Yes. It's like it makes it worth it. It makes it worth it to go see it in person. And it makes it so valuable because it's two ways, like you said, two ways to experience it. So good. And then the amount of thought required. So just thinking about what the artist had to do to make that happen. It's like I feel a sense of gratitude when I get to see artwork like that in person. Like, oh, thank you for this amazing experience. It's definitely not something that you have every day. It's not an everyday kind of experience. I mean, you can sort of experience it if you're really observant. For instance, you could look at a tree from far away and you see like, oh, look at the canopy and green leaves and everything. And then you look way up close and you're like, wow, look at all these little individual teeny tiny grooves in the bark or whatever it is. It's still not quite the same thing though, because with the artwork, somebody did it on purpose. And that means something to me. Somebody thought to do that. Thought to give me that experience without knowing me or anything. Ah, yes, that's much better. Having this darker. Oh, it's so hard. It's so hard to decide what color to do stuff. But I do think the top edge of this nest should stay lighter just because it's catching a bunch of light. Some of these sticks need some shading just because they're being covered up by others, or because the light is coming from the top. In a way, I feel like I'm just sort of winging this. Just doing it bit by bit and being like, man, I guess that's okay. It's so hard. I'm working from imagination mostly. I do have that reference image of the nest, but it's just so different from what I actually have here on my page. Not really looking at it very much. Ooh, that looks good though. That's really helping make the hand look like it's upon the nest, gripping it. Putting those shadows right there. Yay! Yay! Just gotta soften these. edges. And this one is covered by lots of stuff. We'll just paint it all the way in. I think maybe what I should do for a lot of these is start painting with wet on wet. So I've been doing wet on dry and getting really hard edges and having to dab a lot, and it's such a tiny space that the dabbing is not actually having much effect because it's already dry by the time I get to that point. That's all right though. Oh, it is looking so much better. So much better. I'm having like hesitation about it, but overall very, very happy with. I just have to keep moving forward. Keep adding. This branch is very far in the back compared to all these other ones, so I'm really gonna lay on the paint thick right here. And sometimes I have to remind my brain that I'm not coloring, I'm shading. So for instance, this branch seems to come up like this. This upper part shouldn't be as dark as the rest of it because it's now exposed to the light. But it's so easy for my brain to be like, this branch is this paint color. Whee! Just paint the whole thing. I'm like, oops, now it's too dark. Well, this branch is just a very dark branch. But I managed not to do that with this one. Yay! Yeah, this one needs a little bit more too. I'm quite pleased with how long this paint is lasting. I guess the branches look like they're taking up a lot of space, but it's actually not that much since they're so thin. Oh, let's do this one too. Oh, there it goes. Best song ever. Now your laundry is done. It's not my laundry this time. I love it. Those little frogs in there. Little frog emotes singing. So cute. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I just felt so hesitant starting this, but so daunting. Painting this nest is daunting. It seems like such a simple thing, and then you go try it, and you're like, oh. I'm running out of paint color. Gotta mix some more. Let me have a sip of tea. Iconic. I never did find out if it was a jingle specifically for the brand or an existing song that's in the public domain. It doesn't really matter, but it's interesting to know. Maybe someday I'll figure it out. I'll look it up. Look it up on I'll say the G because I have my speaker and I don't want to say G-O-O-G-L-E out loud or it'll think I'm talking to it. Okay, I'm going to use the bigger brush, slightly bigger brush, to mix a paint color this time so that I can get more. I call my smart speakers the G so that it won't know. It's like with a little kid when you want to say ice cream, but you don't want the kids to start freaking out because they're like, ice cream, or whatever. So you say I-C-E-C-R-E-A-M because they can't spell yet. The kids can't spell yet. And what was the other color? Oh yeah, I added the black from the baby Gryphon, so I still have a little patch of that paint left from yesterday. To give me a nice brownish gray. Alright, we'll see how that works. It's probably not the same color, but it's good enough. As long as I paint a branch that's coming along here, basically the same color, then if different branches are different colors, that's okay. I'm just trying to make sure to use the same color on the same branch as it goes like through the scene. Actually, I'm going to move. I was using my third biggest brush, but I'm going to go down, or my third smallest brush, I'm going to go down to the second smallest because these branches in the back are getting real small. Aoife's starting to snore. We got them some new training treats today. Well, the training treats arrived today because the new training we're going to be getting for the puppies uses treats a lot to start with because they're so motivating, and then over time you'll eventually not need the treats. But the puppies love these treats and they smell very strong. Like even me with my weak human nose can smell these treats through the treat bag. So she enjoyed some extra treats today because I wasn't trying to train her or anything. I was just like, I want to see if she likes them. And she did. Of course, I gave some to Chappie too, and Chappie also liked them, and she's been following me around looking for the treats. Oh, hello, G-Squared Dad! Welcome! I've been seeing that lurking. Okay, I won't direct too many things directly at you. Direct at you directly. Anyway. Thank you for joining me. I've been seeing that you've been streaming Eiyuden Chronicles. No spoilers or anything, but I hope you've been enjoying it. I haven't started it yet. I wanted to play that prequel game or whatever. Like, I can't remember what it was called. But I decided a couple years ago that I'm just going to focus on one game so that I could actually finish it. So for the past couple of years, I've been trying to reach my personal end game for Animal Crossing, so that's why I haven't started playing Eiyuden. I'm glad to see people streaming it, and after all this time, it's finally out. Wait. Let's see. Let me do a little. I'm so glad you decided to join me. I'm gonna do a little shout out for you. Oh, I'm hitting my camera. My keyboard. Try to get my stuff out. Okay, how do I do this? Slash. Oh yeah, okay. I think I spelled it right. With double D's. Yup. Mm-hmm. Yep. Boom. Yay! So glad you can make it over here. Let me put my stuff back. Boop. Oh, and this camera is off because I bumped it. There. This is I don't know if this is the first time watching me, But first time chat, so just let you know what I'm working on. This is my 2024 birthday Gryphons illustration. I've been working on, this is number 18 or 19 session. 2 hours, two streams of 2 hours each working on it. Little baby Gryphon's first birthday. So that's what we're working on today, using watercolor. And I'm working on the nest, and it is such a... I'm so glad to have y'all with me. This is the kind of thing that makes me procrastinate. To go find some other thing like, oh, well, I needed to update my online portfolio anyway, and then I'll go work on that instead of what I should be working on, which is this. Streaming has really helped with forcing me to work on my project and not procrastinate. So, all these little sticks are underneath all these leaves, so I'm going to paint them dark. It's really hard to decide. The atmospheric perspective, as I was saying earlier, would dictate that they're lighter, but we're close enough that you'd be able to see the effects of the shadows on these leaves here on the sticks and everything. It's so hard. So hard. Oh, thank you, Essie. Thank you. I just gotta keep painting. I think it's because everything else I've gotten to a state where I feel like I could call it done, except for some little details I might want to add at the end. But the nest I've been neglecting until now. Not procrastinating on the nest, I just wanted to get everything else done first and then work on it. It really helps, for instance, seeing the shadow here that's been painted on the bottom of this Gryphon. That's what helped me realize, oh, these should be in shadow. This section of the nest should be in shadow. But now, this is basically all that's left, so... Yeah! I'm so glad I'm not the only person. I mean, it's okay. Even if I was the only person who found streaming useful in that way, that's okay, but there's always something nice about not feeling like you're the only one. Now I'm moving on to these sticks that these Gryphons are standing on. Well, I say sticks. These are branches. Sticks are disconnected from the tree that they came from. I think that's what makes them a stick rather than a... I mean, it can still be a branch if it's disconnected, but I don't think it can be a stick if it's connected. That is my personal opinion about sticks and branches. Add a little bit of shading where the feet are. Probably the body would be casting a little bit of shadow, hanging forward over this branch. But I'm dabbing a lot of the paint off too because these are even farther in the background. So there might actually be atmospheric perspective if this was a real scene. Not wet, not enough wet. Okay, get the water on here first. This is such a long branch. I don't want it to dry before I'm done. Oh, it's already drying. All right, dab, 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 dab. Actually, for your game, have you decided on a story or anything, or is it just going to be sort of an activity-based game? Just out of curiosity, I'm just thinking about it. So if you don't know yet, that's okay too. Of course. Boop, boop, boop. Nice, even with this very subtle bit of shading on these branches in the background. feel like they're becoming part of the scene now instead of feeling like they're just sort of there. Weird empty spaces. Oh, it's getting close to break time. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how I want to do the nest. So probably lower. I want to make this stuff all darker. Less light will be getting in because there's more branches piled on top of each other here. A little bit more water. I think there's still some color on my brush, but I ran out of water. Slowly getting there. Oh, vague ideas. Oh, that sounds so fun. I love. Oh, I think we've had this conversation before because I think you said that you played or something. Because one of my favorite little cozy games is, oh shoot, what is it called? And it has the little cat that knocks stuff down and everything. A Little to the Left. So when you're saying that, I'm like, oh yeah, I want to play this game. I love clean and tidy games. It's so fun. It's so silly. Yeah. I don't like cleaning in reality. I mean, I like the satisfaction of when it's done and looking at it and feeling like, oh, it's done. It's clean again. Thank goodness. But the actual act of cleaning, I don't enjoy unless it's in a game. I guess because the game is, you're only doing the mental side of it. And if it doesn't get completely done or whatever, you just turn the game off and pick up later. But if you don't clean in real life, you have to live with that. And it's not pleasant. At least not for me. So there's like these extra, makes it, it's not as fun. It's not as fun in real life. But heck, yeah. Clean up an old nuclear power plant. Yeah. I am into that. I think the only thing with these branches right in the middle, they're so much brighter than everything else to the side that's that far back. So I am going to wet down this entire area and put some paint over it all to try and tone down this brightness. It's a little too bright. There is a, if it's just a little bit to organize something and it's just a little small project, you know, like you have a drawer and you want to just tidy it up a little bit, get some containers or something. I don't mind that. It's not like I hate every kind of in-person reality cleaning, but I wouldn't want to clean an old nuclear site in reality. I like the aspect of the game world. You're safe. You could always pause or pass the controller on to someone else. Oh, that's much better. We'll see what it looks like after it dries, but that's a much better match. I'm especially looking over here. Before it was just a little too bright. Like a weird light spot where everything else was dark. Oh, interesting. Oh, that gives me a great idea. You could take it or leave it, but I think it would be awesome if you have, like, you start out with it, you just have your one room. Oh, I have a great idea. Okay, like you have your one room that you can access that for some reason it was well kept through all the apocalypse or whatever it is. And just so you live there and that's where you start from. But you don't have access to the kitchen yet cuz it's not clean. It's like unusable right now. So to start with, you can't like oh. So say like you raise your health bar up. So like you're cleaning, so you're using up your health bar, but you could eat to raise your health bar up. But you only have your bedroom, so all you have access to eat is like little energy bars. So yeah, it like technically gives you your nutrition, but it's not psychologically satisfying or whatever. But then once you get the kitchen cleaned up, boom, you unlock all these abilities because now you can cook and you can store ingredients and then you can charge yourself up more. You like pull an all-nighter because now you have a coffee pot or whatever. Anyway, that's just off the cuff what I thought would be really fun when you explain that. How that would be so fun. It's as you clean up different rooms, they unlock different things that you now have access to, which makes it so that you can clean more tough projects. Oops, I hit my camera. Anyway. Let me. Oh! No, I was going to say let me work on this. A bunch of times. I was going to say let me work on this like 5 times in a row. But no, it's break time! Perfect. Speaking of eating an energy bar, I'm going to go have a little Soylent energy square for my snack. And also have a little walkabout and do some stretches. So put my little pokey me right back there. And I'm just going to mute my mic. Hope everybody else will also take this opportunity to stretch, rest your eyes, all that stuff. Okay. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Hello everyone, I'm back. I hope you all had a great break. I did. Puppies had a great break too because it just gave them, at least Eva just did a big yawn. It just gave them one each of their new little training treats. The dog trainer made a really good point yesterday that we so often react to the things we don't want them to do, but we don't reward them or reinforce the things we do want them to do, because when they're doing what we want them to do, then it's all peaceful and you can think about other things. So I was thinking that I would reward them occasionally when they are just calmly laying down in their beds as they are now. Sip of tea. Nom, 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 nom. It's cold now, but the flavor is still good, this tea. Oh, thank you. Hope you had a good break too, Exie. Oh, Eva just hit her head on. Her bed is underneath my table over here. She just bumped her head a little bit on it. She must have stretched upward. She normally fits in there. All right, me. Back to the nest. Painting grindstone. It's actually looking pretty good. It's still a bit flat. I'd like some more definition, so I'll just keep looking at it bit by bit and keep adding here and there. I want to finish the sticks, and then I'll paint the leaves. Because if I do that, then it'll be easier to tell what's leaf and what's stick and what I've already worked on, what needs work still. I just realized another reason to paint this area even darker is that it makes it look like this branch is just coming out of this part, but it's supposed to be completely different areas. So let's add a little bit more there. Once again, let's get the brush nice and wet, since I want to change the entire area, not just add shading. Aoife's licking her foot again. We have her a vet appointment for tomorrow, so hopefully they can determine what is irritating her foot and how to resolve it for her, because it's in between her paw pads. It's all red. It's not swollen or anything that I can tell, but it's really red, and she just keeps licking it and licking it. My suspicion is something to do with all the pollen, walking on it, running on it. Especially running, probably, because dogs sweat out of their paw pads, I believe. So it's all wet from running. And then she's running on all this pollen, and then it gets in there. That's my theory for now. Hopefully they can just give her some antihistamine or something easy. Hopefully it's something easy for her, so she can be more comfortable. She doesn't complain very much. She's a relatively quiet dog. The only time she ever was really barked is when the neighbor dogs are really looking for a fight. Like that one time when they came up to our door and was like harassing the delivery person and stuff. And then I had to like pause my stream because I was like, what the heck? Because it sounded like the dogs were in the house and everything. They weren't in the house, but yeah, she only barks at utmost need, basically. So she doesn't really complain, she just accepts things. Another reason I'd like to make some of these sticks much darker is to help give a little bit of a vignette effect so that things are darker in the corner, and then that helps bring the attention to the middle of the image. I might add to that even more with digital work later. I love putting an overlay digitally at the end to really solidify the colors and bring them all together. So I might do like a gradient overlay as well. Or maybe one this way, because I wouldn't want it to be obscuring this cupcake here. I'll think about that later. Don't need to worry about that right now. I need to worry about this nest. A big thing I'm trying to do, and maybe it's not that big of a deal, but there are some areas like right here where there are 3 different sticks right next to each other, and I'd like to create a little visual separation between them. But as I say that, I can hear my illustration professor in my mind saying, is that really that important? Do you have to do that? Does it help the illustration? It's nice because it's not that he would question what I'm doing, but he like gives me a question to ponder. And now in my head, it's been years. 2021 is when I graduated, so it's been 24, so 22, 23. So it's been over 2 years since I graduated. And that kind of questioning, which is very helpful, still pops up in my head, even though it's just me. So the experience itself created a voice in my head to give me direction, or at least help me stop to think about what I'm doing and whether it's helpful or necessary. There is one thing that my illustration professor, Bill Carmen is his name. He has an art book and a children's picture book under his belt. Among other things, he's done lots of different illustration stuff. Anyway, one thing he questioned that I was like, no. He was like, can't you put a nose on the chibi? Can't you put a little nose right here on this chibi? I was like, no, my chibis don't have noses. He's like, you could just put a little one right here. He really wanted a nose. It really bothered him that it didn't have a nose. But trying to be a good student, I did try it. What am I paying for going to these classes if I'm not going to try? So I did try putting a nose on after he said that, and I was like, no, it looks wrong. No, not. Human chibi does not have nose unless they have a very prominent nose already in their character design. But it was nice. It was nice to have that at least questioned in an open way, not in a I think I'm right and you're wrong, but I'll just let you learn the hard way. Not in that kind of way, but just to give you some different ideas. Because you never know. I might have liked it. I might have tried putting a nose on the chibi and be like, oh wow, that's actually really great. I think I'm going to do that from now on. So nice. It's looking so nice now. So much more depth and variety. Still feels a little overwhelming working on it, though. I have to admit, it's tough. There's so many branches. Right? You never know if you never try. It made me really sad and frustrated when I saw my classmates unwilling to at least try the advice, because when I saw the advice, that because we would go around as a group and share the piece as we're working on it, there'd be check-ins, and so many, not everyone, there were people willing to at least see. And I loved seeing the work from the people who tried so much that they had like 5 different versions or whatever. And that really inspired me to keep trying too, and keep testing different things. But I felt it's just kind of sad. It's like a waste of talent. Oh well, I had to keep telling myself I can't make them do it. They have to choose to do it, or it's not going to be worthwhile. A lot of my classmates were straight out of high school aged people, so I think that's also part of it, because when I was that age, I was really not open to suggestions either. So going back to school, because I was on and off school forever, so it was really hard. I had to work, so it was like trying to work and trying to go to school, and I always worked these overnight shifts, and it was just so hard. But eventually being able to go back to school in my 30s, I was like, wow, this is how it should just be. This is way better. I'm more confident, and I have less worries, so I can actually focus on what I'm paying for, which is getting an education. But at the very least, I'm thinking about it now, maybe my classmates who weren't open to suggestions at the time are still how I'm feeling right now, where the voice is still in your head. It still rings in your head after the fact. And maybe the value is still there for them. It's just it takes a little while to kick in or something. I hope so. I just want the best for everybody, so that's why I worry so much about other people's business. And then I'm like, that's how someone else's business. Stop worrying about that. Oh, so happy. I'm howling. I didn't mean to just now, but I did. I howled. I'm so happy. It's coming along. I have not touched this branch yet, it looks like. Really need something here. Sitting here all flat and sad looking. That's all its compatriots are getting beautiful colors added to them. Ooh, nice. It's got some nice texture on it too at the end. Love that. Yay. Oh, here's another branch. Need a little bit more on this one. I'm still trying to tackle those little areas where the 2 different colors of paint are meeting as well. I keep finding them. Little bits of, not white paper because I put that green wash down, but I love those little swirling rangers that you made. They look so good. I can't wait to make some more of those. I gotta finish my little subscriber icons first, though, before I make more emotes. We are getting there slowly but surely. A big thing I'm doing right now is comparing branches to each other. This is every branch I think I've touched, and now some should probably look darker than others because they're farther back on this weaving of branches. So I'm running out of color again, though. I'm gonna have to mix some more in a second. here. I think the flowers should be, even regardless of whether they would be casting a shadow or not right here, I would like these branches to be darker just so that the flowers stand out more. Oh, dude, I'm so happy. So happy. It's coming along. I just keep finding little small areas that I haven't actually touched yet, like this branch. Here's another one where I haven't actually really put anything on it that I can tell. Now I want to tackle this section. I kept adding more so that it would look different from this branch in the background. But that meant that the shading I did got lost. But I've got to mix some more color. There's basically nothing left. So get my larger-ish. This is the smaller of, it's like right in the middle. this size is right in the middle of the brushes that I have. Mix just a little bit more. I don't think I need that much more. This sort of peach tan color. And a little bit of the leftover black from the baby Gryphons. I love it when I can reuse colors like that for a completely different color because it makes me feel like it helps the image look more congruent. Because there's a little bit of this color in here, and there's a little bit of this color in here, etc. Okay, I'm going to turn it this way. Feels like it'll be easier to... Oh, let me make sure it's in my small camera. Okay. Be easier to shade, to move my hand in this direction. Went quiet. I went quiet. So I'm just concentrating on this. Boop. I want to soften this one up a little bit. It's a bit harsh of a shadow right there. Boop, boop. That's better. Branches that are crisscrossing right on top of each other, I feel like they should have a more distinct shadow color. Because the shadow is a lot stronger. Having something casting a shadow, so say like my hand is casting a shadow on my hand, my upper hand is casting a shadow on the lower hand. And it's just sort of a general shape, but if I put it like this, there's a much more precise edge to the shadow being cast. So that's what I'm thinking of as I shade these branches. How about something else I can do is add a little bit more to these spaces in between. The negative spaces in between. It's all kind of a flat color and it could be a little bit more rich. I'm even going to add this dark, I was going to say shade, but I'm not exactly shading, but add the darker color in bands on some of these areas, so that there's more than one shadow color in the negative space. And maybe that will suggest more branches. Here there's lots of leaves and sticks, so this one would probably be pretty dark, this area. Same thing over here by the flowers. This is great because I think it's giving it a lot more depth. Working from light to dark, it's sometimes easy not to go dark enough because you've worked so much on it that you feel like, oh, well, that's good. But then later, you might look at it and be like, man, everything is so pale. I wish that I had a little more contrast. Compounding that issue is the fact that the watercolor paint dries lighter. So it might look alright, but then once it's fully dry, you're like, oh, I thought that I took it farther than that. Oh, thank you, thank you. Yay, glad you think so. It's such a tough, I mean, you've been hearing me whining all day. It's such a tough part of the piece. Your kind words are very welcome. Thank you for being here and watching it happen. When I'm done with a piece, I'm like, yeah, that was easy. But when I'm actually working on it, sometimes it's just such a slog. I'm going to switch to a smaller brush now. Work on these little spaces, especially here where this part should be pretty dark. My mind is waffling between make this way darker because there's two Gryphons blocking the light. But then another voice says, but then you'll lose the feet in the darkness. But is it really that important that the feet stand out? Or is it more important to have a more natural lighting where the feet might actually disappear into the shadows? And I think that the latter is true. Or the latter is what I'm actually would be happy with in the end, so I'm going to be bold and just put this color down all over everything in this area. Sticks and negative space. It's a the color I'm talking about is a watered down, literally watered down version of the color for the baby Gryphons. I was like, there's some nice floral scent right here. I'm pretty sure it's my tea. Yummy. It's a pu'er tea with strawberry and vanilla? I think it's strawberry vanilla pu'er tea. And I was like, what even is pu'er tea? I've heard of it plenty of times. I finally looked it up, and it is, oh, what's the word? It's fermented tea. I was looking it up on Wikipedia. There's multiple different ways that you can ferment the tea and all this stuff, but it was really cool to just learn that little bit about it. It's quite tasty. I've never gone out of my way to get it, but I would never say no to a cup of pu'er tea. The more I look at this, the more I think these little negative spaces should be much darker because of this baby Gryphon right here. Even if it's not necessarily part of the baby Gryphon, just the shadow it would be casting, I think. I'm wondering now that okay, hold on. Let me rinse my brush and think this out loud. As I always do. We have this adult Gryphon right here delivering a cupcake. I bet this whole front area would be in shadow, cast by this one that is almost entirely out of view. We have the beak here, but if we put shadow here, that would give more presence to this one, to show that it exists. I like that idea. I'm going to do that. So let's add more, and just on the front edge here. And I haven't worked on the leaves yet, so we'll continue to just leave those. But like right here and here, basically, and maybe a little bit carrying on over this way. So I do need to mix more color. Okay, gonna mix more of that branch shaded color with this peach color plus the black from the babies. This is so nice. My new setup is so nice. Having space to mix the paint and not be all cramped in this little area. Because I have, this is my, what is this called? This is a drafting table. And then to the side, there's a long desk. And then there's another long desk going this way over there, like there. So I had all this space to my side over here, but I couldn't use it because it was where my mouse went. Well, now my mouse just goes over here. And that's a huge amount of real estate has opened up. Seems a little bit dark, but maybe if I put some water. Put some more water in it. Water it down. Okay, let's try this. And I'm just going to try it with the whole with the big the brush that I use to mix the paint. Heck, maybe I will put it on the leaves. It might be a little too dark. Oh, should I just do it? Maybe if I do wet on wet. I'm gonna try. Let's try wet on wet. Just apply a big shadow being cast by this adult Gryphon, parent Gryphon, over this entire space. I think I got everywhere that I want the shadow to hit. It's kind of hard to tell because there's so much going on now. Keep getting little pet hairs on my painting today. There. Okay. Darkening this whole area at once. It's nice. A lot of the specific shadows I painted are still sticking around. Maybe we should bring it all the way across, like this. Bringing some extra dark color in. So I like what it's doing, but it's not doing it enough. I need to take it farther, especially since this is going to dry lighter. The pigment is not spreading out very evenly, but I think it will actually be really interesting to just leave it like that and see how it dries. So what can I work on in the meantime while that dries? I think probably these background branches. I hardly touched them at all. Just a teeny tiny bit of color left. I keep mixing all in a small amount. I mixed a small amount on purpose last time, but now I realize I want to use it on this. Shadow cast by this Gryphon onto the branch, and then also just the shadow from the roundness of the branch. Soften the edge of the roundness shadow. That will help with the round look. If it's a really hard edge, it looks more squared. no, another little pet hair. Well, I'll just have to leave it because it's in the paint. I think the darkest shadow would definitely be right here under this Gryphon, where it's hanging over the branch. Oh, not bad. Let's leave that and work on this one. Turn it upside down. So this part's still drying and I don't want to accidentally put my hand in it. Same thing here with extra shadow where the Gryphon is standing. Just be blocking all the light coming down. It's nice that it still seems like not too much. You can still tell there's a color difference between the feet and hands and the branch below. But I'm actually using the same dark color from the baby Gryphons. Just a super watered down. Alright, give me a second. I'm going to take a sip of tea and just take a moment to look at this. So this is drying more evenly than I expected, so that's nice. Because I wanted it to just look like a shadow being cast. It's actually more subtle than I expected too, though when I compare this, or this one to this one to this one, these are the same color, so that's probably a better comparison. But even this leaf compared to this leaf, even though they're different colors, it does look like this one is in shadow and this one is popping forward because of that, which is nice. It's still quite damp though, so I don't want to do any more painting in that area. I suppose I could start working on the leaves over on this side. So at least, okay, hold on, I'm going to hold it in a different way. Or maybe I'll look at it in my screen and let's zoom in. Use my lovely zoom that I discovered on my main camera. It's been here all along and I've never used it. It doesn't work for my purposes. I am so glad that I discovered that. I was like, I only ever use this one button to focus. What are these other buttons? Like, what? They're such cool. There's a power button, the focus button, then there's brightness up and down, zoom in and out. What's this one? Hold on to your seats. This might be interesting. Ah, it does what I thought. It flips the image upside down. Interesting. This one is like It has 3 colors, so I'm not going to touch it because I think it's going to change what the color looks like. And then this one at the top. Oh! I discovered... So I'm looking at my camera straight on. I just realized if I look at it from the side, it says what it is. So this button is filter. Okay, I'm not afraid. Let's see what the filter does. Whoa! Black and white filter. That's actually really cool. That is so useful. That is so useful for seeing the contrast. What? This is awesome. That makes me really happy with this picture. Because I feel like the contrast looks good. That's cool. Now I found an art use for this. Well, that's the first filter. What's next? Exie, what is that face? This is the opposite. Black and white, but opposite. Whoa, it looks crazy. But it still makes me happy because you can still tell that... Oh, look at my hand. Oh, look at my hand. Oh, look at my watch. That is so weird. I look like a superhero. And I am. This is my Captain Marvel watch. I am Captain Marvel right now. The power of the Tesseract. Okay, what's next? Oh, red. So black and red. Black and yellow. Or green. Blue and green. Oh. Oh, look at my powers. Yeah. Look, it looks like I'm glowing. What the heck? This is funny. Blue and gray and white. Oh, look at that. That's like difference. The Photoshop filter called difference. That's what that looks like. This has a lot of filters. Oh, look, grayscale. This is really good for contrast too. And it makes me happy looking at it. Though, it does look like there's hardly any. The shadow I wanted to apply doesn't look like it's working at all. But the cupcake looks good. The composition of the griffins on the background. Wow, cool. Oh, what's this one? Sepia or something. As I think I'm back to normal. Am I glowing? No. I'm normal again. Wow, that was fun. I've never... Well, I can't say I've never pressed that button, but I don't think I've ever pressed that button on stream when I'm actually working on something. There were some actual really useful things for exactly what I was trying to do, which was get a different perspective on this to see what I want to do next. I'm glad you thought it was interesting. Thank you for allowing me to indulge in that discovery session. Oh, that's actually really great. It was actually really great seeing it in black and white and seeing it in grayscale. Because I could see that the shadow I wanted to get on here, it didn't really... There's a subtle difference here, but not as much as I want. So instead of working on the leaves, let's try to take that a little farther. So I'm going to mix some color again. I'm running out of this baby Gryphon black. We'll see if this makes a nice shadow color. My palette's trying to fall off the table. Don't do that, palette. Come on. There's other things for you to do instead of crashing to the ground. Okay, once again, I am still going to do the wet on wet, but I think I'll dab away the water this time because I left it very, very soggy. Maybe this time if I just have the paper damp, the color won't get so watered down when I apply it. Plus I mixed a lot more paint this time, so that's another good thing. Another nice thing about adding this shadow is these larger sticks. Yes, they're larger, so that helps show that they are in front, but I think a little contrast would help even more. Yeah, we're basically going to take the shadow all the way to this leaf. Okay. I'm going to give it a second. It's a moment to soak into the page. And now, dab away the extra. Now let's see what it's like applying this color. We'll start in the corner just to be safe. It is a bit dark, so let's add a little bit more water. Dang it. It's so hard. It's so hard to find the balance. But this is working pretty well. Putting a dark splotch and then using water to spread it up. I really want it on these sticks here. These ones are close enough that they're getting shaded by the adult Gryphon there, but the other ones behind them are far enough away that they're not really being affected. Yay, I'm glad! So nice coming to the end of this session, because the beginning was really tough to convince myself to just do it. I mean, some of it was just having fun chatting. It wasn't entirely procrastinating. Not 100%, but it was a little bit percent procrastinating. It's a little ghost of perfectionism, actually, not being able to start because you're worried about like not knowing how, or worried about it not turning out how you want or something. It's a little bit of perfectionism there, but I'm always working on it. Yeah, I'm loving this. I'm gonna dab a little bit away from these leaves. Try and get because even within the shading, they might still be catching some light because it's not pitch black. It's just a shadow, so a little bit of light is coming through. The shadow color keeps trying to come onto the leaf right here. I have to keep blocking it by patting it away. Stop coming onto here. We don't want you on this part. At least not yet. It's tough because I want it to come right to the edge, but it's like, no, let's scoot on over a little bit right here. There's room. Oh, just a few minutes left. I am excited to look at my picture from yesterday. Take a picture of this one today after I'm done. Let's see the difference. It's got to be a huge difference. I'm dabbing away more paint on this side because I feel like the shadow would be strongest over here. So if we can make it sort of fade to the side, then that will be a nice natural look, because over here it's a bit of a stark contrast. How it's super bright over here, and then just right here at this leaf it ends. The shadow ends. So I want to make it seem logical that, oh, and the light is hitting here stronger because there's no shadow being cast by this person here. Next week I'm taking off, so it'll be really nice. I'm taking off from live streaming, I mean. It'll be really nice to come back with a full, like, 2 weeks of, well, like, what will it be? So it'll be, yeah, almost 2 weeks. Almost 2 weeks of not working on this and having that mental break, I think would be really nice, because then if there's anything else for this nest that I really want to work on, I'll be totally recharged and be able to notice it. Is there anything else I want to work on, or should I just call it good here? We have less than 2 minutes left in the stream window. I think this is good. Yeah, let's call it good here today. It's still drying, but let me show you the close-up of all the stuff we did today. Not actually anything up there. It was all down here on the nest. Much more depth and definition, giving some shape to, well, you can really see how it's still so wet, that it looks so grainy because it's still so wet. And we even got a little bit done on the leaves just because of this big shadow cast by this person. And then the background, shadows cast by the Gryphons standing on the branches, and then just the natural shadow on the bottom of the branches as well. I think that's all we worked on today. Mostly sticks. We worked on sticks today. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. That's so kind of you to say. Yay. Oh, wow. It was so good. So good to push through. Thank God for live streaming. I have been so productive. So productive since putting illustration on my live streaming schedule. It's awesome. Okay, that's it. Let's find someone to raid. Oh yeah, it's exactly time too. Let's see. Who's going right now? Turning down my volume. G squared dad is going, but I don't want any spoilers. G squared dad, if you live stream so we can end again, I'll pop right over. Let's go visit Cheers Steph. She's playing a game. She says waiting for paint to dry. On there. Okay. Let's see. How do I do this? Move this. Pull this out and try not to bash my camera again. I gotta remember to move the camera out of the way. Put that up there. Oh, yay! I'm so glad! Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow! Oh, and you're welcome! Thank you so much for always joining me. I appreciate it so much. It's so nice to not be alone. That sounds kind of sad. I don't mean it to be sad. It really is so nice to, just psychologically knowing there is a presence. Because I'm a people person, so that's why. Let's raid. Cheers. Steph. Yeah, I think that's right, with 2 S's. Yes. Boom. Yay, the raid has started. Woohoo! While the countdown is going, I will be back tomorrow for Chibi Friday. I'm really hoping to finish the Chibi project that we're working on. So looking forward to seeing you then. And the raid is ready, so let's go! Yay, the raid worked. So if you are still on my channel right now or watching the recording later, that's it for me today. Hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching.